He has to go do some work on an assignment as an angel to learn how to balance his moods and his emotions. He carried too much of that here with him.
Oh, and they're helping him?
Yeah, he volunteered and agreed.
So that's a good thing?
Yeah, he's going to do a little bit of time as a guardian angel so that he can learn how to not get so reactive when things happen.
Oh, good.
I still get to see him every night, but he can't come through to you as strongly anymore or at all until he can realize how to be a little bit more balanced.
Okay.
But there's a problem with Annalise, and she needs to go to the doctor because she's got some heart issues developing, and I want you to start spending more time with her.
Okay.
And it'll not only help her nervous system to be with her real family, but also maybe you can help her with her eating habits a little bit better because she's got too much like stuff around her heart, and they're going to find a murmur or a hole or something in her heart, and she's going to end up being fine, but like she's not going to be like incapacitated or pass away or nothing like that. But Jennifer, she needs a better quality of life. She needs to be able to feel relaxed with her other family and feel loved and everything, but also more than that, she needs to stop eating all that stuff she's eating. And I know that they're not doing it intentionally, but if she could start realizing like that good food and healthy food is also tastes good too, and not have so many bigger portions, then she's not going to struggle as much with this heart stuff. But if she keeps eating the way that she's eating and not getting enough exercise, she's going to have heart problems that are going to keep her down even in high school.
Oh, no, we don't want that.
So just try to get her as much as you can and try to teach her that fruits and vegetables and water can taste good too.
Okay.
And encourage somebody to take her to the doctor, because the sooner that they can find this, then the better off she's going to be, and the more they can take care of it and treat it.
So I should tell Misha?
Yes, or see if you or China can take her to the doctor. It don't matter who, but somebody got to get her to the doctor because she's got some heart problems, and right now it's just going to look like a murmur, but they got to stay on top of it because she might have a hole in the back of her heart, and at some point it's just going to have an enlarged heart.
Oh, no, well, we don't want that.
It's fine. Like, I'm not upset or anything. I'm just trying to warn you, because if she can have a better quality of life, like, she's not going to pass away and she's not going to be like in a hospital or nothing, but her quality of life could be better if people would pay more attention to it.
Yes, we want that. Can we ask all our guides to help guide us all the way?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. And I'll get a hold of Misha and Cheyenne after this session.
Yes, and if they don't believe you, just see if you can just take her to the doctor.
Okay. Okay. I can do that. Thank you.
And Madison's been having some nightmares, so just try to be there for her a little bit. Just try to tell her that, just talk to her.
Yeah, she's been kind of distant right now.
She's been having real bad nightmares. It's giving her anxiety.
What can I do for her?
Just be there for her, and when your kids are grown, you don't have to mother them so much. You can be their friend, which is what I tried to do with y'all, and that's what I want you to do with her, because she don't need a mother necessarily, but she does need a friend. Both of your girls need a friend right now, and you could be doing just a whole lot of good that you don't even know about just by being their friend.
Okay. So spend more time with Madison.
Yeah, I just call her every day and just talk to her and see if she wants to talk to you about anything personal, because she's not dealing with her stress, and so her stress is manifesting as nightmares, and then it's causing her daytime anxiety.
Okay. Yeah, just do her like you did me. Just call her every day. Talk to her every day.
Yeah, don't worry about annoying her. You're her mama. It don't matter if you annoy her, she'll still appreciate it.
Okay. Can we send her some love?
Oh, always.
Okay, good. Oh, thank you for bringing all that through. We love you.
I love you too, baby girl. Just pray for your daddy. He's doing a good thing, though, because if he goes and he does his work and his volunteer work as a guardian angel for somebody, then he has to be forced to look at things from a different perspective, and then he'll learn that he don't have to react so much and everything is going to be okay, because he just wants to still, like, he's always, I guess, since his death, he's always been trying to control everything from the other side. He's been trying to look out for each of his kids, and he gets so pissed off about things, about his grandkids and his kids. But he's got to learn that he's on a different realm now, and he can relax, and everything's going to be okay. You don't have to keep trying to control everything. He's not supposed to do that.
Maybe he was just never really able to learn it. He was never really taught it.
He's just really proud of being a father and a grandfather. It makes him really happy and proud, and he brags about everybody all the time.
Can you send him some love for us?
Yeah, I still see him whenever I want to.
Good.
He just can't be interfering in your life so much.
Tell him thank you for bettering himself.
Yeah.
That's always wonderful.
Do you have any questions for me?
Oh, can you give Noah hugs and kisses?
Oh, he's such a joy.
He is. Was he the one that sent that letter to us
Yes.
that I found today on my phone?
Yes.
I love that.
He's such a joy. I almost don't want to let him go, but I know he's going to have to soon.
Oh, yeah. We're talking to Madison about that.
Yeah. Should be ready soon.
Yeah. And Rebecca, is she doing okay?
Yeah, I think that's who your dad's with right now.
Okay, good.
I feel like that's who he's supposed to be doing his assignment with, but also, he's also watching over her kid. He's always watched over her kids.
Oh, wonderful.
He gets real pissed off about them kids. He's really close to them.
They're such good kids.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, so he saw whenever they was out here working and everything.
Yeah, he's the one that talks to them. You know, they think it's their conscience, but it's him.
Oh, wonderful.
He's trying to get Rebecca to be able to be quiet in her mind and listen.
Okay, maybe I can get her a message.
Oh, he'll do it. He just has to stop interfering and getting so upset when people make mistakes.
And him on this journey, he's going to be able to do way better things.
Yeah, he's learning balance so he can ascend some more.
Oh, good. Good. Do you have any messages you want me to give to everybody?
I find my own ways to talk to each of them, but I just want you to be able to be prepared to help Annalise a little bit more. And I think Cheyenne's finally on the right path. I think she's starting to learn a little bit of self-love.
I hope so. I've been trying to send her some.
And I know Chaz struggles the most besides your sister. I know Chaz struggles the most. Rebecca does struggle, but it's in a different way. Chaz, he struggles with his emotions. And he feels ashamed sometimes about his emotions, and he's been trying to get rid of this depression ever since I left, but if he could just start looking at it like I didn't leave. I just had to go to a different place so that you guys could experience growth that you were never going to experience if I was here. You would have never experienced the kind of growth you're experiencing now.
Yeah, thank you, Mom.
But if Chaz could just stop looking at it as such a loss and be really still and just pay attention, he could feel me, he could hear me. I'm with him all the time. I just worry a little bit.
Should I let him listen to this message?
If he's open,
I think he's getting there.
it's like Dakota has a purpose. because this little boy fills his heart up, and that drives him every single day to be the best he can be and fight to be in a good place mentally. And Laura has a purpose because she does want to serve God, and she is trying to figure out that journey. And believe it or not, she is trying to be better with the way she's raising them kids.
Oh, yay.
And she is really trying to take a look in the mirror and be a better version of herself. So she has a purpose that keeps her afloat. And Rebecca, she's always been able to pull herself out of stuff mentally if she wants to. She just feels sorry for herself too much. And that's it. That's not really a spiritual thing. That's a mental thing. But Chaz doesn't feel like he has a purpose. He feels like all he experiences is loss.
Can we change that for him?
Yes, I just wish that he would listen to you and just be really quiet and pay attention and hear me and feel me, because I'm always with him. I'm always talking to him. He gets about when y'all was little, and that's because me doing that for him. And tell him, don't be afraid to spend time with you, because you are a bright light and you are a healer, and he doesn't need to feel like he's being inconvenienced. If he wants to be your best friend, he should be.
Yeah, I love him. I love them all. It's always me, him, and Dakota.
Yeah, they're your buddies.
They are. I love them all. I'm so thankful you gave me all of them.
I'm so proud of y'all for staying close together.
Proud you gave us a family of love.
One day we're all going to be together again, Jen, and it's going to be paradise. And all the work that you're doing right now, all the work that all of y'all are doing, but all the work that you're doing right now is going to make it so much better when we're together.
Oh, I love that.
Because if they don't have to keep coming back to Earth, then y'all can all come here faster.
And when I heal, they heal.
Yes, baby, and you're healing me too.
Oh, good. So, are you the one that's been leaving the water faucets on?
Yes, but mostly that's just your dad. Sometimes when he gets happy, he just wants to act like a little teenager and see how much he can mess with you.
Oh, I love that. I'm getting used to it now.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I tell him to stop it.
As long as I know it's y'all, I'm happy.
Yeah, he said don't kill the spider too.
What?
I guess there's going to be a spider on your porch that's going to scare you, but don't kill it. It's him.
Oh, on the porch?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Because
as long as it don't get on me.
Well, spiders are protectors.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, they're natural mothers and they're natural protectors. As long as you don't bother it, it won't bother you, but I think your dad's just trying to test and see if you pay attention.
Okay. Good, because I'm trying to start that journey where I can pay attention more. And my God's going to teach me all of that.
Jennifer, you've done made leaps and bounds.
It's just because I wanted to find a way to talk to y'all.
You could talk to me anytime, baby. You're doing so much good with your life. You're doing so much better than I ever knew I could do. You're helping so many people, and you're going to keep helping so many people. And one day, all of your siblings and your nieces and nephews, they're all going to see you as the matriarch, even Laura. They're all going to come to you for help and healing and peace and confidence. You're the leader of this family now.
Only with the help of all of y'all.
Because you were willing to do the work and face yourself and be honest. You were willing to heal.
I have to heal to be able to talk to y'all.
I'm always with you.
I'm going to get better at it.
You're doing just good. You're doing just fine. You tapped into something that most human beings don't even know they have access to. You found the way. You found the way to transfer through different timelines and dimensions. You figured it out.
Getting there.
Don't be so hard on yourself for your past either. You did the best you could with the knowledge you had.
I think I'm learning that now. I'm kind of proud of myself. I came a long way.
Yeah, you gotta let that stuff go. You were never selfish. You were just surviving.
Yeah, there's a big difference.
Yeah.
Now that I know this, or I'm learning this.
Yeah, you never purposely screwed anybody over or tried to harm people.
No.
That's selfish. What you were doing was just surviving. Sorry I didn't set you up better.
You set me up perfectly.
I should have taught you more things.
You raised me with a loving family and a loving heart.
I had so much trauma I was dealing with myself.
Is that getting healed now?
Oh, it's completely gone now.
Oh, good.
But I just wish that it could have went away whenever y'all were little, so I could have been better to y'all.
Oh, you was wonderful. I admire you for how you took care of us with what you had.
Love you, baby.
I love you, Mom.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Hi there.
Hello?
Hi there. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. You can access that anytime you want to.
I love it.
She's so bright and beautiful and purple and glowing.
She was like that here. Who am I speaking with right now?
This is Willow.
Hi, Willow.
Hi. Can you just take a minute and breathe? I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. Thank you. We really don't have many questions. We got the one question about Christy at the hotel, and she heard children. Can you tell her about that?
Wasn't that lovely?
Yes.
Yeah, those were little just like shrubs just to come and bring a smile to her face and see if she was paying attention.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and they also made sure that she had that good clean water from her faucet too. Ask her if she remembers how good that water tasted, because when Ronnie was gone all day Friday, she was stuck in the hotel room except for whenever she had to take a cab to Kaylee's game. And, well, actually, she didn't take the cab. Did you know that cab driver was going to murder her?
Oh, thank you for the protection.
Yeah, did she tell you that story?
No.
Well, do you want me to tell you?
It's up to you.
So she had to spend the whole day Friday alone because Ron had to come back to Paris. And she was trying to figure out how she was going to get to Kaylee's evening game that was at 5 or 5:30 or whatever. And she called an Uber and it was going to be $50. And she didn't have $50 and she couldn't believe just a 15-minute drive was going to cost her $50. So then she kept researching the trolley, and the trolley's free, but she couldn't ever figure out how the website worked or how to get to the right stops at the right time without being late to her daughter's game. So then she finally called a taxi, and the taxi guy was giving her a weird feeling, and he was telling her that he would give her a ride for $14, but he was wanting her to walk to this secluded place, because he said that the way that the city is, the touristy part of the city where she was, the way it was set up, he wasn't going to be able to just park somewhere. And so he kept telling her she had to meet him at this secluded place behind this arcade, and it was 2 blocks away. And she walked there, and she kept having a bad feeling because even if you're on an Uber, there's a digital trail of where you're at. Well, she got to the place 15 minutes early before the cab driver, so she sat down in front of the arcade and just relaxed. When she was sitting there, her ex-husband drove by with her daughter, and her daughter said, "That's my mom." And her ex-husband started laughing, and he was in a really good mood, and he said, "Should we stop?" And Kaylee said, "Yeah, that's my mom." And so they stopped, and Kaylee said, "Get in the car, we're on our way to the tournament."
Oh.
So then Christy called the cab driver and told him that a family member had passed her on the street and gave her a ride, and he was really mad at her because he was going to take her off somewhere secluded and do stuff to her.
Thank you for protecting her.
Yeah, and that's why he was so cheap.
So he started before.
I'm not sure if he's done it before, but he was not good news.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, so
For saving my friend.
that was some divine intervention. And then also, whenever she was by herself all day Friday, she didn't have a way to get to the store to get nothing to drink, so she kept refilling her water bottles, and she was noticing how good the water from the sink was tasting, and that was because of the shrubs also, because they were making sure that she was having a pleasant experience.
Oh, wow. Thank you. So, Angelica was the one protecting her?
Yeah.
Is that why I had a feeling on the porch that I should ask Christy if everything went safe this weekend? Because I felt like Angelica was by her and helped her this weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, I had that feeling on the porch.
Yeah, you do have a very, very strong connection to Christy.
Okay, because when Christy was talking, I don't even remember what she was talking about, but I had that feeling that Angelica had protected her this weekend.
Yeah, she always does.
So I should have said something.
And I don't even think Christy knows how close it got to being bad. She just knows she had a funny feeling about that guy, especially when he got angry when she canceled the cab. That was weird.
Oh, thank you for protecting her. Do we need to send that cab guy some light?
He's going to get his karma real soon.
Okay, so we don't need to worry about him. Oh, okay. Oh, wonderful. Thank you for bringing all of that through. Oh. We don't really have any other questions. We just figured we'd just hop on and see what y'all had to say and what lessons we can get.
Okay, I think I'm supposed to talk to you about the ego death, and then I think Cressida's going to come in and she's going to talk to you about the channeling that you want knowledge on.
Yay! Okay, good.
Well, it's really, sometimes it's hard to put things into words whenever you have this whole ocean of knowledge and you're trying to form sentences, but I'm going to try my best. So the quickest way, first of all, I would encourage you, even though I don't think either one of you do this, to not do the hallucinogenic drugs, because even though that will cause you to have an ego death, it's just temporary. It's not a permanent one. And that's the reason why people feel so blissful when they do those things. Because when you do have a complete ego death, you actually start a phase in your life where you're the most blissful that you could ever be. And as long as you keep remembering your ego death and not get triggered, then you can continue to live in that blissful state and continue to ascend through the dimensions. Does that make sense?
Yes, because we want ours to continue, or we want it to, when it's done, to be done.
It will be done, but it's also it's also a lifelong practice, because there will be moments when you're tempted to be triggered. So you just have to have a lifelong practice, and I'm going to tell you the things you can do to do that. So the quickest way to have an ego death is to be selfless. You see, it doesn't even matter which form you take, but it can be as easy as letting someone else dominate a conversation, even though you have strong opposing views to their views, but just letting them have their moment to dominate a conversation. That's selfless, because you're not forcing them to listen to your opinions and your views. It could also be giving. Doesn't matter if it's giving money or resources or your time or your energy or your patience or whatever it is. If you're giving something and you don't have any expectation of getting anything back in return, especially if you're giving to the point where it's uncomfortable. Once you start giving to the point where you're thinking this is a little uncomfortable and I'd rather be doing anything else, or I'd rather be spending my money on something else that I want to spend my money on instead of giving it to someone that is not going to benefit me at all, you're actually experiencing a huge, huge progress in your ego death. Like, even if it's not giving somebody money, even if it's not donating to a charity, because there is no right or wrong way to be selfless. It's a state of being. So let's say, for example, you could go and help pick up litter at the court square, or you could volunteer at the animal shelter, or you could go to your at-risk youth program. I think it's called Real Hope. You could volunteer there for a couple of hours to read to children or help them with their homework. You could go feed the dogs at the animal shelter. You could go paint a wall. Anything that you're not getting paid to do, and especially if every ounce of your ego is telling you, I don't want to do this. This has nothing to do with me. I want to be home doing my own comfortable thing. There's not going to be anything I can tell you specifically. If you're giving somebody $100 and you're not sure you're going to get that money back, that's wonderful. I'm not saying be stupid. I'm saying that when you're doing something sacrificial, whether it's your time, your money, your energy, your patience, anything that you're doing that's sacrificial to where another person gets all the benefit and you get no benefit at all, that's the fastest way to an ego death. That's the reason why people that are in abusive marriages, or people that are in prison, or a priest that is never allowed to get married, or especially the monks. You know, the monks, they're not allowed to have any of earthly pleasures. Did you know that?
I do now. So you told me.
Right. So the monks in India, you should study the monks. And I'm not telling you that you should be one at all. I'm not telling you that at all. I'm saying you could get a lot of insight by studying not only the monks, but India, the gurus of India. The gurus of India have mastered over and over and over again, many times over, the ego death. And you could watch videos, you could just study them, you could read books about them. There's so many good ones. But back to what I was saying about the monks, they devote their life, whether it be 2 years, 10 years, or their lifetime. That's their personal choice. They devote their life. And so what they do is they have a life of service where they don't have clothes. They just wear, a robe, of just a very ugly, plain robe. They don't do anything pleasurable at all. They serve their community. They pray. They meditate. They don't desire, sweet foods or processed foods. They eat a bare minimum diet of just bread and water, or oatmeal and water, or rice. And they meditate for, hours a day. They can take a vow of silence and go, 6 months to a year without speaking, because all of those things are in an attempt to have an ego death. Now, by me telling you about the monks and the Eastern religions of India, those are very extreme, and those are the holiest people that exist. Those people are the holiest people that exist, and I'm not trying to tell you that you should go and be like them. I'm giving you an example of what an extreme and very, very, very fast ego death looks like. And the reason that they do it, the reason that they are willing to put all of their needs behind them and only focus on the needs of others, is because of the state of bliss that they receive in that process. The bliss that they receive is unlike any drug you could ever do. And, a lot of women who are battered, they start finding that same peace. And because they're living this life of service to an abusive husband and to children that they love, and they're usually housewives that don't have an income and don't have any kind of social life, and so all they do all day long is cook and clean and wash and bathe children and surrender their will to the will of their abuser. And the same goes for a lot of the people in prison. They find perfect happiness and peace and wisdom because they've undergone a complete ego death. And so people wonder, like, some of these old men in prison or old women in prison, and why are they so joyful and happy in the place that they are? It's because they've completely and totally released their ego, and they've experienced that state of bliss that you can only experience when you don't have an ego. So, not that you should go to prison or be in an abusive marriage or even move to India and become a guru or a monk, but you can learn lessons from these situations to go, okay, so I'm going to go volunteer at a dog shelter and give some dogs a bath and mop the floors or whatever the case may be. Yeah, that really sucks that I spent a day doing that. But the part of you that says that really sucks, that's your ego. Or I could go read to underprivileged children at Real Hope Youth Center. The part of you that thinks to yourself, well, this is really boring and I have no interest in doing this whatsoever, that's your ego. Whatever it is you're doing, and I'm not telling you to do those specific things. It could be just as easy as, going and cleaning your daughter's house, or giving somebody a loan that you know that you may not get that money back, or letting someone else's opinion, even though you disagree with their opinion, letting their opinion shine through and you kind of keep your mouth closed because you're being selfless and you're biting down your ego. And the more you bite down your ego, the weaker it becomes. And once it becomes so weak that it can't even stand on its own anymore, you realize, A, you're experiencing this perfect state of bliss, and nothing feels like a sacrifice anymore. None of the selfless acts that you're doing feel sacrificial anymore. They feel joyful because you're in a constant state of bliss. And you get higher every single day off of this bliss. But also, you realize that you never needed your ego to begin with, and it wasn't even real. See, right now you think and when I say you, I'm speaking about you and Christy together. But right now you think that you need your ego to protect you from certain situations. You think, well, I don't want to look like a fool, or I need a certain dose of self-confidence to be able to survive in the world, because if I didn't have self-confidence, then, I wouldn't bathe, or I wouldn't wear clean clothes, and I wouldn't care about my appearance, and whatever. But that's not true. Your ego doesn't protect you. It is important not to judge your ego, because once you judge it, you're giving it power. And if you hate it, you're giving it power. It doesn't need power because it isn't real and it doesn't exist. And let go of this idea that you still need a small dose of it just for your self-confidence reasons. You don't. If you let go of that idea that you still need your ego for self-confidence so that you can be attractive and feel powerful and stay safe from certain situations or whatever, if you let go of that, you'll realize all of the angels and the gods that are doing those things for you. You'll actually one day start seeing them. You will physically, with your eyes, be able to see them and hear them sitting on your couch or your porch or whatever. And you'll realize, I never needed my ego to make me shave my legs. I never needed my ego to give me confidence so that I don't look like a fool when I'm having a conversation with somebody that I don't like or whatever. I didn't need any of that. I was always safe. I was always beautiful. I was always protected. I never needed an ego for any reason whatsoever, because that transcendence that comes from the complete release of relying on yourself for anything, the transcendence that comes from that is so amazing. And yes, a byproduct of that is being able to manifest anything you want. When you're in that state of bliss, which is the 5D and rising, when you're in that state of bliss that you can accomplish from your complete ego death, which I just gave you a ton of examples on how to get there. When you're in that state of bliss, yes, you are going to manifest whatever you want. You are going to be able to say, I want a house on the hill with no house payment, and I want the best car, whatever. Okay, so once you don't judge yourself, because right now you're thinking, in the back of your head, you're thinking, oh, that's a little bit selfish. Okay, maybe it's selfish, but why is it selfish? It's selfish because you're deeming that it's selfish. So once you get to that complete ego death, and once you get to that space to where you're experiencing the complete bliss of the 5D and the 6D and the 7D, once you're to that place, you can have whatever you want instantly. Yes, that promise is true. But at the same time, you're going to be so happy and so fulfilled and so like you have the entire universe inside of you. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
It won't even matter what's considered selfish anymore or what's considered, it doesn't matter, because what's going to happen is all of these gods and all of these angels and all of these entities that are good, that surround you, that protect you, all of the deities that complete you and give you all of the things that you need, they're going to continue to do that, but you're not going to have the ego that's creating that thing in between you. So you can see them. You can see them working for you. You don't even have to think to yourself, I want a house without a house payment. I want a car without a car payment. I want to never have to worry about money again. I want perfect income. You don't even have to consciously think those things, because it's a total byproduct of being in the 5D, of complete release of the total ego. It's a natural byproduct that you will have everything you need. And surprisingly, the things that you need are also the things that you desire. So when you have a desire for something, never view it as selfish. Never think to yourself, why am I being selfish because I want money? Why am I being selfish because I want this, whatever? Don't view it as being selfish, because you were given those wants by God as a part of your personality. And whatever your desires are, those are your needs. And you never have to consciously manifest them when you're in the 5D. They're just provided for you.
Oh, I love that. That's our goal, is to just be light and everything else just flow.
Yeah, so really, really, really take this selflessness thing seriously. And remember, the more that your flesh does not want you to do something, the more ridiculous it sounds or it feels, the more you need to do it. Because that's just your ego trying to prevent you from ascending.
Okay.
So go and volunteer at a place, whatever speaks to you. I mean, if you're not a fan of children, go find something you can do out at Kentucky Lake. Go there's a ton of things you can do that are selfless. You can go clean up the lake. You can go to the national parks. I know that you're interested in nature. You can go to the National Park Society and say, hey, I can come volunteer twice a week. Use me as you need me. And they'll put you to work, and you'll find joy in that. If you genuinely don't want to be around dogs or children or whatever, if you don't want to paint walls at the court square and pick up litter, the point is, it doesn't matter what the act is. The only thing that matters is that you're not getting a reward for it. You're not expecting a reward for it. That's when the blessing comes.
So us doing these sessions for free is part of that?
Yes, we are so proud of you for that. Yes, and there's nothing wrong. Tell Christy there's nothing wrong with needing an income. There's nothing wrong if she wants to charge sometimes. There's nothing wrong with that. And the same for you as well. But and you're starting to understand this a little bit faster than Christy, but when you offer a service for free and you're not getting an income from it, it is lifting you so high in the spiritual realm, especially when you don't feel like doing it, especially when you're thinking, I could really use $150 right now. When your flesh is telling you, oh, don't keep doing this over and over and over again. I think that you figured this out, but maybe Christy hasn't. That's when you need to do it more.
Yeah. Okay, good. And like the free haircuts or just anything, as long as it's just in selflessness.
Yes. Push yourself to give until it hurts, because I promise you it'll never really hurt you.
Okay. Oh, that's true, because then we're trusting. We're trusting all the angels. Oh, wonderful. Okay, thank you.
Spend time with people that you love that maybe get on your nerves. That'll teach you some ego death right there. If you have somebody in your family that you do love because they're your family member, but they kind of get on your nerves all the time, make yourself spend time with them, because you know what that does? That pushes your ego to the side and makes you look at life through someone else's lens.
Okay, good. Can you tell us how me and Christy are doing so far? Are we still on the right path?
Yes, you are on the right path. I don't feel as though you need compliments or accolades. I feel as though if you were not on the right path, that would be made loud and clear.
That is true. Good
But
point.
I think that you are, well, I know that you are being superbly divinely guided, because you are trusting and you are talking and you are communicating with your guides.
Yeah, and we're just now learning about like all this ego stuff, so it's wonderful.
And you have many, many, many more guides and masters to meet. But right now you have to get yourself to the 5D first.
Yes. And we're on our way blissfully. Oh,
So take this seriously about the selflessness. Don't take any of my examples and think that I gave you those examples because they are designed for you. I was literally just showing you examples to get your mind to understand how many avenues you can take. There are no limits on how you can give back to the world. There are no limits as long as you're doing something selflessly. And it would be good for you to study the life of a monk or to find a guru, as long as you don't worship the guru like some of the unbalanced people do. Because when an unbalanced person finds a guru and they know that they're hearing the truth, the way that you have found whenever you started doing these sessions and you met us and you started talking to us, we're so proud of you because you didn't make us some kind of god. You didn't start worshiping us because you had enough balance inside of you. But there are people who find, these Indian gurus, these Eastern religions, although they're not really religions, they're just, it's hard to explain, but these types of things, these are like I said, the most holiest people, the most realized people in the entire world. And you could really learn a lot by studying them. But I want you to make sure that I know you're going to find a guru or many. I want you to not worship them. You are balanced and you are complete all by yourself. You do not need to have an altar to anybody. You do not need to stand in awe of anybody, because then that is also, you're projecting onto them and you're turning them into some kind of ego god. It's not for that purpose at all. And honestly, I don't believe that you or Christy are the type of people to fall into that kind of trap. I don't believe you or Christy have ever worshipped anything or anyone. And I do think you're very balanced people. But it is imperative for me to say this because the knowledge that you will gain by finding these gurus and studying the Eastern religions and viewing the way that the monks live their life, the knowledge that you're going to gain is so supernatural, you're going to keep craving more and more and more of it.
and isn't that our internal knowledge from just our lifetimes?
Yes, but it's going to be activated and it's going to be awoke. So all of the things that you're seeking by having this conversation with me, you're going to be able to find. I want you to go and research the Eastern cultures and religions. I want you to go and find the gurus and see what you can learn from them. But what I don't want you to do is replace yourself with them. There is a very, very high advantage in learning. You're right, it is knowledge that you already have, but you've fallen asleep to it. And so that's our collective goal right now, is to continue to wake you up.
Okay. Maybe that's why I'm drawn to all those colorful fabrics and everything.
Yes.
Okay. So just look at them as learning like I've been learning we've been learning the last several months.
Yes, and you call it downloads. So these downloads that you'll receive from doing the things that I'm telling you right now, they're going to become so addicting to you, and there's nothing wrong with that. It just means that you have a thirst for knowledge and that it's working, that you are getting the downloads, that you are ascending quicker. When you learn and you start really listening to some of these gurus and the things that they say about detachment and the things they say about serving others and being quiet inside of your mind, they're going to reveal so many secrets, and the way that you perceive it is going to be, there's something activated and awoken inside of you that's going to be so powerful that you're just going to want more and more and more. And that's good. That's what we want, because one day you're going to be teaching these things. One day you're going to be someone's guru.
This is how we help people.
Yes, by learning.
Oh, yes. That way when I meet someone, we could just be a book of knowledge for whatever they need at that moment.
Yes, and it's going to be perfection, because the way that you're perceiving, especially, okay, so it goes hand in hand with, you're going to learn about the ego death. You're going to start doing more things to finish up your ego death. And then you're going to realize, in the process of that, you're going to realize that this is a lifelong journey. And it doesn't mean it's a hard journey, not at all. You're going through the hardest part of it right now because your ego is tricking you. And whenever you start studying all of these things that I'm talking about, and whenever you start noticing yourself being more and more and more selfless, you'll get so addicted to that feeling of ascending and then you'll experience your Kundalini awakening, and then you'll start living completely in the 5D, that you will not want nothing to knock you back down. And so you will, journal and figure out a way to continue your practice of the ego death, because that little thing is tricky and it can trigger you, and it can be something so small and stupid, but it can plant something huge inside of you that's rotten. And so if you don't continue your practice of the ego death and continue, this is a lifelong study, not just of the ego death, that sounds like such a negative, it sounds like such a negative thing, but it actually encompasses a whole entire lifestyle, really.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But you're going to feel so high and so good and so powerful and so crystal clear in your thinking, and you're going to experience all of those positive ascension symptoms because you're releasing all your negative ones right now. You're going to become so addicted to that feeling that it's just going to continue to drive you. And then once you feel like you've really, really, really had your feel of all of this, then you're going to start being the best teacher and the most productive teacher and the person that people seek out.
Oh, yay. And then just that in general will help people realize that it's real.
Yes.
Oh, good. I just want everybody to experience it. Oh, thank you.
It's the most perfect and pure thing that you can ever feel.
Yeah, I'm excited to get there.
Just remember that when an opportunity or an idea is presented to you and you think to yourself, oh, that is not something I would like at all, do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Yes, make yourself be uncomfortable in those moments, because the gain and the reward is worth it.
Okay. That's what me and Christy was talking about earlier, all those thoughts. I don't know which ones are mine or which ones aren't, so I got to learn how to harness them and just act on them.
Yeah, Jennifer, we can see you putting on your boots and your gloves and a hat and going up and, cleaning the rainforest or doing things out. We know that you're drawn to nature. We know that you like that kind of thing. We know that that fills you with peace. And so you can combine that with your ego death. You can go out and you can do things that are going to better nature. Just maybe spend the day out at the lake and pick up trash, or, whatever the thing is, that get dirty. Just get dirty, because I promise you the joy you're going to feel at the end of it is going to be worth all of the heavy lifting that you're doing.
Okay. Good.
And don't try to impose your views on anybody. I know that you don't do that. We see that you're growing a lot, and we see that you're not trying to force the way that you think on anyone. But if you're having a conversation with somebody just about anything, it could be something so trivial about, the grass or a hairbrush or just something so trivial. It doesn't matter what it is, but if you let them lead and let them feel like they're special, and don't do it from a condescending point of view. Do it from my ego does not need to be present right now. I need to pay attention to this person. Even if you don't even agree with what they're saying, who cares? Let them feel important for 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, because a lot of people like to talk.
Well, let them.
Yeah.
It's not for their benefit, it's for yours. Because you're killing your ego.
And I'm learning a lot more. They may teach me something.
Yeah, even if they're talking about the dumbest thing that you don't have any interest in at all. It's not about them. It's about you learning how to get that ego gone.
Yeah. Because usually if it's something I'm not interested in, that's usually when I get most of my thoughts.
Yeah. But when you put up a wall and say, oh, I don't like doing that, or I don't want to hear about that, that doesn't have anything to do with me, you may not realize it, but that's your ego.
Okay. So just be there. They may just need an ear.
Yeah. Your essence is building. You're learning your essence right now. And if the ego can prevent that by saying, I'm not interested in that topic, that is such a damaging thing to think to your ascension. You have such a pure, flowy, good essence coming to you. And that's going to...
What does essence mean?
Well, like the energy that other people receive when they're in your presence.
Oh, okay.
So that needs to be pure. And if someone thinks if someone's in your presence and they think to themselves, oh, well, I can't be free and I can't talk about this because she doesn't like this, then you're not giving them that good essence. If someone tells you, I don't know, I don't know why I'm supposed to be saying this to you, but I feel like it is meant for you. And not just you, but Christy as well. This is all for her too.
I'm ready.
So when someone's in your presence, the essence that you actually do have that's buried under your ego is so beautiful and free and inviting and calming and healing and magical, and you are one of those ladies that people are drawn to. But right now your ego is trying to prevent that by saying, oh, well, if this is something I don't want to hear about or listen to, then I'm going to check out mentally. Don't do that. That's the ego. It doesn't, you got to understand, it doesn't matter. The other person, what they're doing, saying, thinking, feeling, doesn't matter. You're literally exercising this practice of killing your ego for the greater good.
Okay, at every moment of every day.
Yes, but don't get pressured. Don't get pressured, because if you start feeling like it's a task and it's homework and it's pressure, that's your ego.
Gotcha.
It has to be natural.
It comes with the flow, kind of like when you change your thoughts. You gradually got to do it.
Yes.
Okay.
And we don't feel as though you or Christy really struggle with this, but we do know that there will be triggers.
Yeah, it's nice to know, because we don't know much about this all the stuff that's incorporated with the ego. So it's wonderful to learn this.
Yes.
The only way we're going to know is if we learn, and then people can learn from us. Oh, thank you. Okay, wonderful. And we can still stay updated on all this?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Is there anything else about the ego death you'd like to tell us?
I think that you have grasped everything that I've brought to you. I feel like the more that you listen and take notes, and especially when you're studying about the monks and the people in India and all that, I think that you are prepared. I do believe that Violet has some messages for you. I'm not sure if they're about this topic or not.
That's okay. Whatever y'all need to bring through for us. We're just excited to be able to talk to y'all. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi there.
How are you?
I'm good, Violet. How are you doing?
I'm getting stronger, and I like it.
Thank you for keeping her safe and me safe.
Oh, yes. You're going to change the world.
So you like it that you're getting stronger? You're liking this new position?
Yes, I'm still with you both when you sleep, but it's nice to be able to communicate when you're awake too.
Yes.
Okay. I have some housekeeping that I need to talk to you about.
Okay.
But it's nothing bad. It's just that Krista has a whole lesson plan, and she wants to stick to one topic. So these are other things that she wants to talk to you about, but she's letting me do it so that she doesn't get off topic.
Okay, I love this.
Okay, so first, your business, let me think how to say, your business with your book and your being an influencer and stepping into your power as a healer, you had so many good downloads about your YouTube and about a potential podcast, and definitely about a book, and just your position in the world that's going to turn into something monetary. You had so many good downloads, but then you didn't act on them. You started acting on them. And again, I'm not getting on to you because there is no right or wrong, but I am giving you advice because I know that you're interested.
Oh, thank you.
So,
is that why I had the feeling the other day I needed to pick it back up on the YouTube?
Yes, we've been screaming this to you and to Christy.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a categorized list, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
So for one, you got to take this more seriously. So you need to make a video every single day. You need to make that vow to yourself. And I don't mean just you. I mean you or Christy. It doesn't matter if it's you that makes the video that day. It doesn't matter if it's her that makes the video that day. It doesn't matter if you both make a video that day. What I would recommend and what I want you to hold yourself accountable with, submit a video to your YouTube every single day. Whether it's 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 hours, or 5 hours, it doesn't really matter. It's the fact that you're being self-disciplined. So pick an area in your home that you can create. You need to have natural lighting from a window facing your face. But behind you, you need to have some kind of setup like, and I'm only telling you this because the way that people can feel calm when they click on a YouTuber,
Yes.
based on the way that the background and the lighting is. And those are all things that draw people into you. And we need people to be drawn to you. So you need to your face needs to be facing light. If it's the type of weather that you have right now, you can face a window and just open the blinds and get that light. If it's in the darkness of the winter, you can buy yourself one of those, what are those circle lights called?
Ring lights.
Yes, you can get a really bright one of those and put it in front of your face. And then create a background that's peaceful or calming. You can buy these tapestry, is that what they're called? Tapestry?
Yes, tapestries.
Right. Those, you can get those a dime a dozen now. Those are fairly cheap, and there are some beautiful ones. So you can do a tapestry. You can do a bookshelf and put crystals and some of your favorite books on them, or a beautiful candle. Just anything that's calming or relaxing. And so after you get your little studio area set up, what you do is you make a promise to me and yourself and your guides that you're going to make a video every single day for 3 months. If you do this, and don't prepare a dialogue, don't prepare a speech, don't go, I mean, you can research certain topics, of course you can, because that's your learning journey. But my point is getting comfortable in front of the camera, okay? Don't think about, am I going to say the wrong thing? Am I going to come across as an idiot? Am I going to stutter? Don't think about any of that. Just think about it like you're doing a video diary almost, and you're just talking to yourself, or you're talking to maybe your future child or grandchild. You can't put pressure on yourself at all. And so if you get on once a day and you make a video, and again, it can be you or Christy or you both together, and make a video about anything you want. Just turn on the camera and start talking. You both have learned so much gold. You both have so much gold inside of you that people need access to this knowledge. You can literally pick any topic that you would like to talk about that day. You can turn on your camera and you can talk about the power of crystals. You can turn on your camera and you can talk about dream work. You can talk about how important journaling is. You can talk about what you're learning with your ego death. Just have a conversation. Don't worry so much about if your voice, if your looks, the way that you're pronouncing your words. Don't think about those things. You can't worry about those things. You're just having a conversation. You have to view it as that. And like I said, it's not a big production. It's not a big scripted thing that you have to worry about and prepare for. Just talk. Just open your camera and talk. And then if you do that, if you make yourself do that every single day, again, whether it's 2 minutes or 2 hours, doesn't matter. Just talk about whatever comes from your heart and let it flow. Whatever topic you want to talk about, you're going to start building your audience. After 3 months of doing this, you're going to have 1 million followers. If you do this, if you make yourself do this. Now, when you have 1 million followers, that means that people are going to start sending you checks because they want you to continue to make the time to make these videos because they like the content that you're providing. So when people start sending you checks, whether in the mail or through YouTube Pay or Cash App or just whatever avenue they choose to send you checks, that's going to empower you to realize, okay, this is what it's supposed to be. I am doing what I'm supposed to do. Then you can start setting that money into a separate savings account that has yours and Christy's name on it. And then you can use that money to build this career, to write your book. After 3 months, If you do this every day for 3 months, you will get a million followers. And once you get a million followers, it'll keep going up and the checks will just keep coming, and you will become very wealthy women just by sharing the knowledge that you've learned throughout this 6-month journey, okay? Then I want you to write your book. After 3 months, I want you to start writing your book. That, I know that you and or Christy both have created a lot of pressure inside of yourself as far as how to write a book, but don't think about it that way. Just get on your laptop and start typing. The exact same concept as making your daily videos for people. Just start typing. Start typing about what all you've experienced these last 6, 8, 9 months, everything that you've experienced. Mainly go back and listen to your sessions and write down everything that we've said. Type out everything that we've said. As long as it's not something specific to you or someone you love, as long as it's not a specific piece of advice about your personal life, everything that is world knowledge that should be understood or learned by everyone, and there's a lot of it. We've told you a lot of things, and you've got more to come as well as you grow. Just start typing all that out. Just listen to the tapes one by one and start typing it out, and you will have a book in a matter of weeks.
Oh, yes. Okay, good. So like the random thoughts I get on the back porch, just video it and post it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
that's perfect. You can definitely, as long as you can get a good, clear connection on your back porch without a lot of static in the camera, yeah, you can do it from your back porch. But absolutely, those random thoughts, you need to just start. People need this knowledge that you and Christy have learned. People are so hungry for it, and they will listen and they will watch. You cannot be self-conscious. You just can't. You have to just talk like you're talking to a friend.
Okay, just do it.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Both of you have to get way more disciplined about this,
Okay.
because you got the initial downloads, you got the ideas, you got a sense of this is very doable, but then you kind of slacked a little bit about it, and you have all of the resources you need, and your YouTube will turn into a following, will turn into a podcast, will turn into books, will turn into retreats, will turn into holistic centers around the world eventually. But you have to stop procrastinating. You have to just start doing it.
Okay. That has been on my mind because, like y'all said in the last session, or like you told me, like you've learned the knowledge, now you got to go out there and do it.
People need your knowledge. It's the reason you signed this contract to begin with, is because you wanted to be a teacher.
Okay, good. Oh, and thank y'all for teaching us and guiding us. Wonderful.
And also something I think, let me make sure I can talk to you about this. Something I think that Willow forgot to tell you is about your own progress with your ego death. Is it okay if I tell you a little bit about that?
Yes, please.
So when your mother passed, whenever she didn't die, we can't say die because no one dies, but whenever she went into a different realm, whenever that happened to you, that's when your ego death really started. That's when you had to come face to face with yourself and get rid of all your delusions about your identity and really be very honest about who you are and what you contribute and what you also need. And that was the beginning of your ego death, because for the first time in your life, you had a heartbreak that you could not control, that you could not glue back together. And you had to sit in that, and you had to figure out, well, who am I without this identity that I thought I had with my mother? Who am I really? And that was such a beautiful thing. Even though we apologize for the pain that it caused you, it was still such a beautiful, beautiful, holistic experience that you experienced, because you had to be very, very, very honest with yourself. You couldn't live in the delusions of the protection that a parent gives you. So when you have a living parent, they provide you with such a sense of security that you don't even realize it until you don't have it anymore. And that sense of security can create a lot of delusions about a false sense of safety. Even though you are always safe, when you lose a parent who has been there for you your whole entire life, I mean, I feel like you already know this. It's kind of redundant or rhetorical, or whatever the word is. I think it's kind of you already know this. I don't think I'm telling you anything you don't know. But when you go through that, the whole glass ceiling breaks down and you just go, oh my goodness, the identity I've always had is gone. The security blanket I always had is gone. Now who the hell am I? And instead of running from that, and instead of, trying to create a new false identity, or becoming an irresponsible person, or becoming a liar even to your own self, you did sit in your pain and you did figure out how to walk through the pain without denying it. And that was such a beautiful, beautiful testament to the strength that you have, and the fact that you were willing to face that you couldn't control everything, because it was the first time in your life that you've really, really, really realized that you can't control anything really. And so anyways, I just wanted to point that out to you, because everything that you had been experiencing in the years leading up to your mother transitioning, all the things that you had been experiencing and drawn to, like the crystals and the tarot readings, and how seriously you were starting to take your spirituality, and how you were really drawn to that YouTube about spirit science, or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
How you were listening to that all the time. And you were going to school and you were learning your craft as a hairdresser, but what you didn't realize is that it was never about hair. It was never about cosmetology. Yes, you have a gift there. Yes, you learned a skill, and that skill is something that you could and should be proud of. But there was such a deeper level of what was actually going on with you. It was actually transitioning your mind to get to a place where you were more open, so that you had to interact with other personalities. And sometimes you were dealing with personalities that you didn't like very much. And sometimes you were meeting people that were just the holiest people you've ever met, and that you got so many, good vibrations from. And it's just the act of having a job with the public, such as a hairdresser. It's the act of really being able to embrace many different souls and many different personalities and many different vibrations. And you're, in a sense, you're entertaining all of these people as they're coming in and out of your shop. You're entertaining them, and you're opening yourself up to this total different personality. But that all kind of also leads back to the fact that you were watching the tarot videos, and you were really connecting with those psychics, and then you were looking at the spirit science, and then you were feeling the energies of the crystals and the stones. All of those things were preparing you for your ultimate ego death, which was your mother transitioning. All of those things happened. It wasn't coincidence. It was your soul preparing you by starting to scratch the surface a little bit about what was actually useful for you, as far as being able to have the tools to equip you to deal with. It's what it seems like it was all leading up to your mother's transition, and it was all leading up to preparing you for that, subconsciously. Of course it was. But at the same time, it's also, your mother had her contract, and she allowed herself to honor her contract so that you and your siblings could ascend and could go higher up. And she knew that she had to be gone in order for that to happen. So you were not only learning tools to be able to deal with becoming an orphan, but you were also learning the tools to be able to deal with embracing your ultimate soul contract, and embracing this journey of becoming a healer and a teacher. And so you did experience your first ego death when that happened. And I'm sorry if I upset you by talking about that. I just needed you to be able to look back.
Upset.
I just needed you to be able to look back and understand that. And so as far as Christy goes, okay, so she's experienced a lot of ego deaths, and for some reason, she always kept coming back. It was like she would experience her ego deaths, and then she would experience that bliss, but then for some reason, she would need to go back and experience something. It's almost comical if it wasn't so painful. She would need to go back and go, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure that was what I thought it was? Can I just do it again to make sure? And it was unnecessary pain for her, but at the same time, it gave her a lot of wisdom, because you have to think about, she was highly neglected and abused as a child. She was sexually assaulted many times as a child. Then she was in a marriage where she was extremely brutalized to the point that she's never even told anybody all of the brutality that he put on her and her children. She can't talk about it. It's too traumatic. Okay. And so when she was in that situation, she had ego death. Her father abandoning her whole life and just barely dangling a little bit of a string of love in front of her. All she wanted as a child was her father, because she got her first 3 years with him and then he abandoned her. And so her whole life she was trying to figure out how to get her father back in her life. And he would dangle just enough love in front of her to keep her in his life, but he wouldn't be a father to her. All of these things that I just described are extreme ego deaths. And you would think, and I don't say this sarcastically, but you would think after her divorce with her ex-husband, and she's went through 5, 6, 7 ego deaths where most people only go through 1 or 2, you would think that it would be easy rolling after 2011, 2012. But because she couldn't fully grasp how great the other side could be, and she didn't fully have that faith that what she was thinking was real, she kept getting herself locked into these bad situations. And so she kept having to relearn her lesson and relearn her lesson and relearn her lesson, with as far as like the pain of temporarily being homeless, and the pain of Ronnie's family abusing her and humiliating her for several years, and the pain of going through mental illness, and the pain of her child custody battle, and the pain of watching her children not be at peace and put in situations that children should never have to be in because of their father. She keeps having these ego deaths. Okay, so on the one side of that, on one side you think, she's going to hear this and she's going to think, oh, well, that's so stupid. Like, why could I not figure it out the first time and fully embrace that peace the first time and keep ascending? And she's going to get mad at herself and think that way, because she could have saved herself and her kids a whole lot of pain if she would have just fully embraced the process and not resisted it and not been insecure about it. But if you also think to yourself how many times this girl has gone through an ego death, when most people, if they're lucky, get 1, maybe 2, and that's not everybody, that's just the lucky ones that have started to search for deeper meaning, okay? The fact that she's had this so many times, by the time she gets into the 5D, she'll never go back.
Good.
She'll never, ever, ever go back. She won't even have to make this a lifelong practice. She's already learned her triggers because she's been dealing with it for 40 years.
Yeah, she's done these ego deaths a few times. She's a master at it.
Yeah, so her stubbornness actually is bringing her a great amount of wisdom later on.
So I can learn a lot from her.
Well, and vice versa, because, you can learn a lot from her, because once she gets into the 5D, she's going to be one of the most ascended people that you're going to be able to find. But also, Christy can learn a lot from you, too, because Christy's extremely impulsive, and she'll see something divine and holy and majestic, and she'll share it with you, and it's lovely and it's wonderful, and she can see that. But you have a way of looking at the details, and Christy has always been so impulsive that she doesn't stop and consider the details, and she absolutely gets downloads when you share the details with her. When you pay attention to the inner workings of things, that's not something she pays attention to. She pays attention more to the finished product. So she's showing you this big glamorous miracle that happened, and you're both relishing and thinking, wow, that's amazing. We're so blessed and lucky that we're even able to recognize this as a miracle. But then you're also going, but did you see how this happened and these situations created this outcome? And she doesn't ever think about those things. And so she really appreciates the fact that you do.
Oh, yeah, we fill in each other's gaps, don't we?
Yes, you balance each other really well.
Love that. I love it. Oh, thank you for all this information.
You're welcome. If I could, I have just a few more things to say, and then I'm going to turn it over. But if I could say anything, I would say don't underestimate. Oh, wait, by the way, I'm so proud of y'all. Both of y'all are doing so good about eating more stuff that comes from the earth. I've noticed both of you are trying to be better about that, and you're trying to eat more vegetables and fruits, and you're getting your water every day, almost every day. Um, I'm really proud of you for that. But what I was going to say is, and I don't know if you notice this, but when you do eat stuff from the ground, it enhances your psychic abilities.
Oh, interesting.
And water as well.
Okay.
If I could say one thing, it would just be try to devote some time for exercise every day. And the way that I mean this is not the way that you're probably perceiving it. So when I say exercise, I don't necessarily mean like the gym or sit-ups or push-ups, even though those are great, those are fine. But the reasoning behind me saying that is because, yes, you understand journaling. Yes, you understand the power of meditation and yoga. And yes, those are amazing tools that most people don't ever realize they have at their fingertips. But another way to release stored up trauma, because you're always going to get trauma, okay? It's maybe not as huge or devastating as to your past trauma, but you're always going to pick up residual trauma. And even though you're doing good and you're eating healthy and you're journaling and you're in your spiritual journey and you're getting rid of your ego or whatever, it could be anything. It could be um, a memory of a time when you didn't have enough money to pay your bill, or a moment when your child spoke to you in anger, or a moment when your spouse wasn't having a good day and maybe they said something a little weird to you and it kind of stuck with you. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be literally anything. It could be something from a dream you had or a movie you watched. Everybody has these little, like, teeny tiny beads of trauma. And so when you are journaling, that releases trauma. When you are meditating, that releases trauma. Yoga is fantastic because it incorporates the mind and the body. Okay, but this is something else I want you to consider. There's a type of exercise and it's called Ayurvedic. I think is the way you say it. Ayurvedic or Ayurveda. It's A-Y-E-R Vedic, something to that. And so the way this comes from the Eastern philosophy that Willow was talking to you about. This is a part of that. So Ayurvedic it's a lifestyle of the way you eat and the way that you exercise, and it incorporates holiness and mindfulness into it. So I'm not telling you to go out and become this practitioner of this. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm listening.
I'm not telling you that you should go out and become a practitioner, but I'm going to just touch on it for just a minute because I feel like even just hearing me tell you a few things about it, you could get a benefit. So the purpose of the Ayurvedic as far as exercise, it is, okay, so science and neuroscience has proven that exercise in and of itself releases stored trauma from the body. It pushes it out, and it usually comes out as like sweat. So Ayurvedic exercise says that if you are painting your home, if you are going to work, if you are cleaning your house, if you are doing gardening, none of that stuff can be considered exercise because those are things that you are doing and you're on a task or you're making money while you're doing it. Those are things that are not considered exercise even though they are physically demanding to you. Exercise in the Ayurvedic lifestyle is pleasurable. So if it's taking a long walk, if it's doing stretches, if it's learning yoga, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're moving your body and you're experiencing pleasure. So this is what it is. If, like, let's just say tomorrow you want to start doing some Ayurvedic exercise. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. If you want to do that type of exercise and you think to yourself, I want to embrace this lifestyle. I want to get the holy benefits of this type of exercise because I know it will raise my vibrations high, and it will. I'm going to take a 10-minute walk with my dog. Okay, that's great. That's wonderful. So get on the road, take your 10-minute walk with your dog. The key and the secret is pay attention to your thoughts while you're doing it. So if you're taking your 10-minute walk with your dog and you're thinking about holistic things or things that you're trying to manifest, literally anything that gives your mind pleasure, that's Ayurveda. That's the kind of holistic exercise that actually, A, you're going to see much quicker results in the way that your body is conditioning and looking. Because if somebody's going to the gym all the time because they want to lose weight and they want to get toned, yeah, that's fine. But if they're not having a pleasurable experience where they're releasing those pleasure hormones while they're doing it, they're going to get toned, but it's going to take them a lot longer. If you're doing something like Ayurveda and you're walking your dog, or you're taking a jog, or whatever, going through a stroll through the park, sit-ups, it doesn't matter, any exercise you choose, and you're choosing to have pleasurable thoughts while you're doing it, you're activating these hormones inside of you that are so powerful that they also activate your psychic energy. They also decrystallize your pineal gland. You're literally ascending so far, and you're releasing all of your blockages as well as your stored trauma and stress. And then your body is doing exactly what you want it to do. It's purging, but it's also toning up. And it'll just be a matter of weeks before you look like a supermodel, because you're doing it the right way. So I'll stop talking about it, but it would be worth your while just to Google Ayurveda, or however you say it, and understand the power of exercising with intention, and not the intention of getting in shape or having a healthy heart or anything like that, even though there's nothing wrong with those things. But try to think about the most pleasurable things you can think about. And I know that, like, for you and Christy, that's stuff like spirituality, or manifesting, or controlling your thoughts and having an ego death. Those things actually do stimulate your pleasure points for both of you. So those are good things to think about, because you're getting those happy hormones from thinking about those things.
Oh, I love that. Okay, that's just so much knowledge that I didn't even know.
Yeah, so like Christy thinks, because she goes and she works out, every time she cleans a house, she works out between 3 and 6 hours. And then she's like, oh my gosh, I'm doing all this cardio. Why am I not getting in shape? It's because she's not having fun. She's not experiencing any pleasure at all.
Okay, so you do it and experience your pleasure and your joy, basically just being, and then it'll all work out.
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
And it's an Eastern philosophy. And it is, it has a cult following right now with the nature lover people. And that's fine. We're glad that it's getting attention, because it is something that is holistic. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you to swallow melted butter and eat an avocado with every single meal and all these. I mean, those, for the people that do that, they're getting the benefit because they are experiencing pleasure. And there's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. It's a trend right now, I guess. But I'm not so concerned about the diet part of it, because I think that you instinctually understand diet now. But the exercise part, I just felt like I could maybe open a window so you could kind of see the possibilities there.
I love that. Is that why I had the feeling just to take Athena for a walk the other day?
Yes.
And I was like, I'm just going to take her for a walk.
It's kind of like a meditation in an exercise.
Yeah, okay, good. So just be in bliss whenever you're doing it.
Yes.
Or anything you do, just be in bliss with it, and it'll...
Yes, but don't underestimate the power of exercise on releasing trauma.
Okay.
Because it's a very powerful tool, along with meditation and journaling.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
And yoga is a good Ayurvedic exercise as well, because you have to use your mind a lot in yoga.
Oh, that does, okay.
But if you find it difficult, yeah, you can keep practicing until it's not difficult anymore. But just remember, all the times that you're doing it and it's difficult, it's not Ayurveda.
Yeah, because
it's just practice.
Because it's not bliss.
Right.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's why you see these people who become like Olympic swimmers in 1 year, and you look at a picture of them from 1 year before they were an Olympic swimmer and they're 300 pounds or whatever, and then they decide to take up swimming, and they're getting so much pleasure just from the act of swimming or whatever the thing is, and you compare their before and after pictures and they look amazing. It's because those pleasure hormones.
Oh, okay, wonderful, wonderful. That's the key. Y'all do give us so much knowledge that we just get to go practice on.
Yeah, but your responsibility ultimately is to share all of it with others.
Yes.
You can't neglect that part of the deal.
Okay. Yeah, because me and Christy's going to be listening to this video. Like we said earlier, it's probably our most listened to video to get on the ball. Thank you so much.
Are you ready for Krista and your lesson?
Yes, ma'am. Thank
She's put a
you.
lot of work into this.
Oh, we have been waiting patiently. I'm so excited.
Hey, dear.
Hey, Cressida. Oh, I missed you. I'm so glad we get to talk today.
I know, I'm so excited.
I am too. Thank you for all the information you had brought through.
You're welcome. Isn't she doing great?
Yes, yes. Yes. It's like she's a natural at it.
Well, she just loves you guys, so she's just feeding off that energy of love that she feels for you guys.
Oh, I love that. I love it. And thank you for her.
Oh yeah, she's great. You're gonna meet a lot of people in the coming years, a lot of spirits, a lot of those that are on your team, our team. Once you fully realize that you are not separate from us, and then you will be at the state where you can see and know everything.
Oh, I'm excited. And we're on our journey.
Do you have anything you want to say or ask before I begin?
No, I'm just ready to receive it. Because we can always come back later and ask questions off of it.
Okay, you want to know about channeling. You are a psychic and you've always been a psychic, even though that word doesn't even seem big enough to encompass what you and Christy are capable of and what you already are. There is no need for feeling like you are learning something. What is actually happening is I'm hoping that you will remember what you already have inside of you, because there's so much inside of you that you don't even use because you're not aware of. Do you remember when Violet told you to go into the thrift stores?
Yes, and I haven't went yet.
That's fine. You can do that whenever you feel like you can do that. That's the reason that I let her bring that forward is because it was touching on a part of what I wanted to teach you about following your instincts. So if you are having an instinct to go somewhere, if you are having an instinct to talk to a certain person, and this is just the very basic level, okay? I'm going to take you through many levels. Is that okay?
Yes.
This is just the very easiest level. So the very easiest level is just realizing that you were given instincts for a very good purpose, and they are never, ever wrong. And so if you have an instinct to call a person, talk to a person, see a person, if you have a person that's on your mind a lot, or a place or a certain item that you want to go and purchase, it doesn't really matter what it is or who it is. It's the fact that you need to just listen to your instinct, because two reasons. Because number one, there could be a person, place, thing, thought, memory, scent, voice, anything that you're meant to hear, and you're not going to hear it if you're sitting in your house. And so you're getting your instinct to take you to exactly where you need to be to experience that. But also, even more important than that, is the more that you listen to your instinct, the stronger it becomes, and the more you start to trust it. So it's important that every time you have an urge to do something, just follow it, because then you're learning how to strengthen your instinct. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so you do need to understand that you already are channeling. You already are doing the things that you desire to do. I know Christy has experienced the power of this quite a lot, and it scares her. For some reason, she has a couple of different fears. She has, her biggest fear is imposter syndrome. She has sometimes this fear that she's just faking it, but if she really stops and just pays attention at all the people that she's helped and all the specifics that she's gotten that there's no possible way she could have made up, she does and will realize that what she has is very special. It's not anything to be able to fear. It's just something to constantly explore, because she's not an imposter. She's never been an imposter. She's not a liar. She doesn't fake anything. Everything she says, whether she's channeling or not channeling, is divinely guided, because, and you as well, because you've already made that agreement. You've already asked for that experience on this life. So not only when she's doing a medium reading, which you can do those as well, by the way, and that guy from that hotel really wants to talk to you still. We'll get to that in a moment. But when you have any thought, none of it's random. So if you're speaking with a friend, okay, let me give you an example on one of the earliest experiences Christy had. Is that okay?
Yes.
So when she was about 19 years old, she was talking to a friend of hers, and she said, how was it worded? She was talking to a friend who had just lost her friend's, the friend had just lost her dad, and the friend was not doing so great about losing her dad, but she was also not trying to burden Christy with that information, and so she wasn't really talking about it. She was just acting like she was okay. And Christy said that she was on the phone with this girl, and she said she had the overwhelming urge to go to her next door neighbor's house and ask for, I don't even remember what it was. I think it was just like sugar or something for baking. And when she went to the next door neighbor's house, the next door neighbor had a white van in the parking lot that belonged to their mother, and their mother had dropped off their van while she went and did something with her daughter's car. And the neighbor was actually Nikki, but she went to her next door neighbor's house, and then she was asking Nikki for some sugar. And Nikki had a white van in her driveway, and the van belonged to Nikki's mom because Nikki's mom was using Nikki's car for something. So she's on the phone with her other friend, and she's fixing to go across the street to Nikki's house to ask for the sugar, and she sees the white van, and she tells her friend on the phone, just casually, not thinking about it, she says, "Oh, in my neighbor's yard there's this white van, and they have a Dallas Cowboys sticker. There's a Dallas Cowboys sticker. It's really, really big on the back of the white van." And the girl just breaks down crying, and she can't believe it. And Christy has to, of course, she goes back in her house because she's like, "What did I do?" Aww. And the girl says, "My dad drove a white van that had all kinds of Dallas Cowboys stickers on it for 20 years.
Oh.
And so that was such a thing that Christy didn't have to pay attention to. She didn't have to comment. She didn't have to. It was like, when you're just talking and you're not really thinking, you're just chit-chatting.
Yeah, you just randomly say it.
That effect that she had, that healing effect of just that casual nonsense chit-chat, that the friend that she was talking to on the phone knew without a doubt that her dad was trying to get a message to her, just because she started talking about that way. And then there did come a message. There was a message that came through, and it had something to do with these flowers that were planted in the front yard that Christy was talking to her friend about, how she needed to go and weed these flowers in the front yard. And she didn't know that the flowers were the same kind of flowers that were ordered for her father's funeral because they were his favorite flower. But the point I'm making is that if she had never even chit-chatted about the white van, the dad set that up that way because Christy had no idea that this girl's dad had a white van covered in Dallas Cowboy sticker. And she didn't know that Nikki's mom drove a white van that had a little a big Dallas Cowboy sticker on the back. The point that I'm making is you are channeling all the time.
Okay.
And sometimes it's extremely, extremely healing for someone if you just say exactly what you're thinking and seeing and experiencing, and just be very open when you're talking or journaling or recording.
Okay. Just start acknowledging that every thought has a purpose.
Exactly.
Okay.
But don't put pressure on yourself because then you'll go backwards. You have to let it flow. And you have to trust it. You have to say, you have to think inside of your mind, you have to think, okay, if I'm not writing this down, if I'm not recording this on a video or a voice recorder, who do I need to be talking to right now? Just start really paying attention, because if you ask God, or if you ask the guides, or if you just even ask your own subconscious, who do I need to be giving messages to today? Really start living in that feeling of I am um, I am a conduit for others to receive healing, and not just from the healing of what you've learned that you're going to write your book about and have your YouTube channel about. Yes, that's wonderful, and you're going to help a lot of people with that knowledge and that healing. But also, someone's mother could be really trying to talk to you, and you don't know that you can hear them. But if you ask the question, who do I need to be communicating with today? God, bring me whoever it is that you want me to talk to today. And then the people that you interact with today, just say, if you are walking outside and you see a blue jay or a sunflower, or you're thinking about cutting up some cucumbers for lunch, and you're talking to the person you're meant to be talking to, well, their mother could have had a house full of decorated with blue jays, and their mother could have had an affinity for planting sunflowers, and their mother could have loved cucumber sandwiches, but you didn't know that. And then you start talking, and then once you get this down, this little trick that I'm teaching you right now, once you get this down and you start realizing that you're always right when you're talking to people, and you're always picking up on signs 24 hours a day, and especially if you're recording them, whether it's your journaling or your video camera or you're talking to someone. The best possible way is to talk to someone. Just whoever you're talking, don't force it. Let it be natural. But whoever you're talking to may need to hear those things that you're just rambling and thinking that they're kind of nonsense in the moment or whatever. That could have brought 10 years worth of healing to that person who's really struggling with the death of her mother or her aunt or her sister or whatever. Nothing is an accident. Nothing is a coincidence. Everything has a purpose and everything has a meaning. So the first level that I brought you, follow your instincts. Go where you need to go. See what you need to see. If you all of a sudden just need to go to Walmart or wherever, there's a reason, and do it. If you have a sudden urge you need to talk to a certain person, don't think of that as weird. Don't think of yourself as weird. Reach out and talk to that person. They may need that. Well, they do need you, or you need something from them in that moment. And it may not always be an item or a word or a conversation. It could just be a smell that you needed to be at a certain place at a certain time to smell your grandmother's favorite perfume. And I'm being hypothetical here. It could be it could be a number of things, but they're all going to be beneficial. And on that level one that I told you, it's also you're learning how to strengthen and trust your instincts, which are going to develop them even stronger, and you're going to feel the reward for that because you're going to feel them getting stronger. Sorry, I'm talking so fast. I'm just excited to tell you.
I'm excited.
So then in level two, with the example about the white van and everything, and you can ask Christy about this conversation later. I'm sure there's a whole lot more depth to that that she learned, because that was a very profound experience for her. But on that level, as far as just like noticing everything and realizing that nothing is a coincidence, and you have all these messages constantly flowing through you that other people need to get. Okay, so that's your level two, is being able to learn how to pick up on the fact that nothing is a coincidence, nothing is an accident. Everything you have in your brain, someone needs. And so the trick is to figure out who it is. And so you can definitely talk to God and talk to your higher self and talk to your spirit guides, and you will be divinely guided into the people that you should be having conversations with in that moment. And if you're not having a conversation with somebody, just write down your thoughts or call Christy. And Christy loves to just sit and ramble with you. You can just start talking about stuff that you think may not make any sense at all. But because she's one of your soulmates and she can perceive you, she can go, oh my gosh, did you not see this connects to this connects to this? And then you'll go, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I called you and wasted an hour talking about nothing, but really we were talking about everything. And so whenever you start understanding level one, which is to trust your instincts, and then start understanding level two, which is nothing is a coincidence and everything has purpose, and you're definitely a conduit for other people. And then once you get those two down and you really embrace this side of you, you are going to get spirits who are going to come to you, and it's going to, at first, I don't think it's ever going to scare you because I'm telling you about it now, but it'll be a little bit alarming at first, because you could just be, taking a shower or driving down the road, and then you're all of a sudden getting this huge life story of someone that you barely know, and then you're just like, holy shit, I think there's a spirit in here telling me You know, like it's very alarming, but it's also very personal. And if you don't run from it and you let that's kind of like your charity work as a channeler,
Okay.
because you're not really getting anything from you personally are not getting a benefit from interacting with spirits, but the people that the spirits are needing you to connect with, they're going to get a great benefit. And so on level 3 is learning how to interact with, I don't like the word ghosts because it's not really the right word. It's more of an energy or an essence that the person, the spirit carries with them.
Okay.
And so you'll learn how to do that. And like I said, I feel like you're going to really get bored with that and just think this is pointless, but it's not. It does help people. And it is a form of charity that you can do. And I also just want you to not be alarmed whenever they come around because sometimes they're pretty persistent. But always remember that you have the power. They cannot, they don't have any power. And so when you put up boundaries, they have to listen.
Okay.
They're not allowed to haunt you. They're not allowed to harass you. Whatever you want your boundaries to be, if you want to say, listen, this is not a good day. I have a lot going on. I need you to not bother me today. They have to listen. You can even schedule a time for them to come back. And you can say on Friday at 12 o'clock, I won't have nothing going on. I'll be on the back porch with my notebook. Give me any messages you want and tell me who to give the message to. And then they'll see that you're working with them and they'll relax a little bit and then their energy comes in better.
Oh, okay. And you'll teach me how to do all of that?
Yeah. Once you master step 1 or level 1 and 2, yeah, then you'll start noticing the spirits talking to you and you might get a little annoyed at first because you're just like, I don't know Florence from down the road who lost her sister in 1953, but apparently her sister really needs to tell her that her husband's fixing to have a heart attack, and this has absolutely nothing to do with me. But it feels good to help people, and usually a spirit won't come to you unless they know that the family member or loved one is going to be receptive.
Okay.
They're not going to put you in a situation where you have to look like an idiot.
Oh, I'm excited to start learning this. Okay.
Okay, so then that would be level 3. But what I consider level 4 is also something that I feel like you can already access if you really want to because you have done it. And that's just channeling, me or your mom or Jesus. You've channeled Jesus before whenever you've gotten holy thought. You can channel anybody that you want to channel. The thing is that you have to believe that you're doing it. And so it's not that you're having this like vision that's like really super, tangible, and you're not having a psychedelic dream and you're not getting like all these voices in there's nothing like earth breaking about it. It's just that you have knowledge, you trust the knowledge that you're receiving, then you relay it or record it. And the more you do that, just like the lady that you like with the Judah, when she first started doing that, she thought she was crazy. She thought, well, I've always been able to have these really profound thoughts, and I know that they're not mine, but I really don't think people are going to receive this very well. And her husband told her, just do it, just do it, just do it, just do it. You know you can do it, just do it. And so she went out on her branch, and she let go of her insecurity, and she said, listen, I have Judah, and he's got stuff to say, and you should pay attention. It's the same concept. She wasn't getting some big visual. She wasn't, she was just inviting something other than her to use her as a channel. And then when you start, you're getting thoughts. But once you start really, truly 1,000,000% trusting your thoughts, which they're actually not your thoughts, but trusting what you're experiencing and not second guessing it and not thinking, oh my gosh, I'm making this up, I'm a big old fake. Like everybody kind of goes through that a little bit, but once you start realizing how powerful it's getting, you'll never feel like that again. You'll never feel insecure about it again because you'll start noticing that you're getting information. If you don't question it, you're getting information that you, Jennifer, would never be able to come up with.
So I just need to start saying whatever's in my mind.
Correct.
Because that's exactly what it is.
Correct.
Okay. And you can help guide me that way.
Yes, you have the abilities. You have every single level I just explained to you. You have the capabilities. But if you listen back to this and you just, take your notes and really ponder on the words that I'm giving to you today, then you're going to realize this is not difficult at all.
No, it's not difficult. Is it easy for me to get into the theta state to do all of this?
Yeah, you're actually there quite a bit because you've learned how to relax the mind and you've learned how to turn off the busy brain. When you're spending your time in your backyard, you do spend a great deal of time alone, which is actually kind of a good thing because most of that you're spending in a meditative state. Most of that you are clearing your mind and clearing your thoughts and you are receiving all this information and knowledge and you're not appreciating the gravity of what you're receiving.
Okay, so I am in that state of mind to receive y'all.
A lot of the times, yes, you are.
Oh, okay. I was sitting here thinking I had to do some certain thing and all that, but just being in that state of mind.
Right, and so for Christy, hers is the most prevalent in the first 3 hours after she wakes up. She stays in that state for about 3 hours after she wakes up, and if she would be open and go, okay, anything that wants to come through, I'm here. I'm ready for it, unless she's at work or something. But the first 3 hours after she wakes up, she's in such a meditative state that she can pull anything or anyone, or it would be really beneficial to start talking, either for you to start talking to her on the phone, on her days off, anytime in those first 3 hours and just pay attention to the things she's saying. Or it would be really beneficial if she would get a lot stricter with herself on her journaling or even just making videos. I mean, they don't have to make sense to her in that moment, but they will in time.
Okay, okay.
So for you, it's when you're alone. It's anytime you're alone and you're not having a busy mind and you're just kind of, focused on your journey, then you are putting yourself in that meditative state. And for her, it's the first couple hours after she wakes up before she's kind of gotten boggled down by the tasks of the day.
Okay, so when I'm in that meditative state, if I intentionally want to connect with y'all, I can just do that and take a few breaths and trust.
Yes, and you have done it before, and you've questioned it, but it was real.
Okay, okay.
But listen, the more you follow your instincts and the more you go with your urges, the stronger that inner knowing is going to be. And then you won't question it when it happens.
Okay, so I need to focus on the first and second step of the levels.
There's no order I want you to go in. They're just points I needed to make.
Okay, okay. Oh, I'm so excited. Because when I re-listen to the video, it's all going to click again.
Yes, you're doing so well. You just have to let go of that little bit of insecurity and just realize that it's okay. So yet you're thinking or you're wondering if it's like this total hallucination effect that you might be having, and no, that's not how it happens. But the more you do it, the stronger it becomes, and then you can have the hallucination effect. You can see and hear, different things that you're channeling. But at first, it's just a still, quiet voice in your head begging you to trust it.
Okay, okay, okay. Like on the porch earlier, I had a feeling I should ask Christy if something happened in Gatlinburg this weekend that she would have needed Angelica for, and then Willow and then brought it through that my instinct was right.
Right.
So those are the kind of things.
Yes, there's no thought or feeling you have that's an accident.
Okay, and I think now that I'm learning that all my thoughts have a purpose, I think that's going to help me a lot. Because before it was just a lot of random thoughts, and I was like, man, I just have a lot of random thoughts. But now I know.
Yes.
So I think that's going to help me tremendously.
Yes, it is. You can become your own greatest teacher just by channeling.
Oh. Okay, wonderful. And doing the videos for the 3 months, that'll be channeling too, won't it?
Yes, with her advice with that, it's so weird because I haven't gotten to speak in so long,
I know.
And so it's kind of a weird thing, but I also really wanted to stay focused on the information that I needed to give you. But I do want to tell you that I'm really excited to be here, and I almost just don't even know like how to talk and just be. But yes, with Violet, I did project some information for her to give you, and the exercise of making a video a day for 3 months, you're going to feel a little ridiculous in the beginning. You're going to feel, and you're going to think to yourself, I just need to, file this one in my computer and not publish it or whatever. Don't do that. It's twofold. So you're going to start learning the commitment that you need to have to this project, okay? You're going to start learning the self-discipline that it takes to dedicate yourself to something on a regular basis, and understand that in order to make this work, you have to make this work. You have to put in the effort, and you have to be self-disciplined. And you're also going to have to give up all of the facades about how does my face look, how does my voice sound, am I stumbling my words, do I even make sense to people? You have to give up all that, and it'll take you a few weeks to get over that that feeling of, am I doing this right? But also, it's because she and we know that when you get to the end of that 3 months, and when you see that you have 1 million followers, and when you experience the excitement of, okay, people need and appreciate the knowledge I have, and I'm receiving checks in the mail, and I'm receiving checks through email, and I'm receiving all of this money because people appreciate what I'm doing, then all that 3 months of that discipline and that feeling awkward and everything, you're going to realize all of that had a purpose.
Oh, wonderful.
And then the great reward obviously is the money, but also you'll have the avenue to start your podcast. You're going to meet the right person that's going to offer you the right, tools. And I mean physical tools. I mean the actual like setup for a podcast to make it smooth and clear and whatever. You're going to meet the right people who are going to have the right resources for you to do that, as well as write your book. So the order that this goes is, if you have the self-discipline to accept what we've given you and to do the commitment, the order this goes is YouTube, 1 million followers, podcast, income, podcast, book, and then retreats and, spiritual trips, and connecting with so many of your soul tribe who are going to go on this journey with you of healing the world and ascending the nation. And by the way, when you are doing your YouTube, can I suggest a name?
Yes, please. I was going to ask you that.
Okay, how did I have that worded? Something to the effect of Christy and Jen are transcending, or Christy and Jennifer bringing transcendence. You need to do something with your names, but also with the word transcendence.
Okay.
And then when you're doing your tags, which your tags are kind of like your mini commercials. So when you put your hashtag with your words, when you're doing that, one of them should always be ascension.
Okay.
And maybe shadow work.
Okay.
Oh, another good one that people love is ask, believe, receive. That's a tag that gets people to click on your video.
Okay. Wonderful. Transcendence. Our names and transcendence.
Yeah, just play around with that until you think of something catchy.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so excited to get to talk more. I feel like I've lost my voice, and I've lost my pep because I've had to step back for so long.
I know we've missed you.
I've missed you too.
We've missed you. I've been thinking of you a whole lot, though.
You did a good job with your hosting.
We did?
Yeah, I know that's annoying, but you did a good job.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, good, 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 good.
Yeah, you were triggered a couple of times, I think, in Florida, but you didn't feed into it.
Oh, good, good. Yay. Oh, that was exciting.
It was so beautiful, wasn't it?
It was. It was just, it's just been, everything's just been so wonderful the last year, and it's like ever since that beach trip, I don't know what it was.
It
It's
was
like
a reset.
yeah, it's like a switch flipped, and everything's been better.
Yeah, it was a reset and a refresh, and now, it was perfect timing also because there is a collective awakening happening right now. And so for you to have that trip at the time that you had it for your refresh and your reset, now you're able to tune in with the collective and be able to be a part of this great awakening that's happening. It's so exciting.
I just love it. I just love it so much. I feel it in my heart so much more lately. I just love it. Oh, thank you, Cressida. Is there anything else you'd like to bring through for us?
I don't think so, but I do often get excited when you're going about your daily activity and you're doing something. So just pay attention because I'll be talking to you all the time.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Just pay attention to my thoughts.
Yes, and what you see and hear.
Okay, okay. And that's just you talking to me?
Yes, and now the journey is in your hands. You're doing wonderful, but the speed of which you ascend the rest of the way is literally up to you and Christy.
Okay, so it's all on how we follow our instincts and do our ego death.
Yes, and every single word that has been said to you in each of these three parts of this every single word is important.
Okay, wonderful. I take it as every word y'all say is important.
Yes, this has been power packed.
Power packed.
Yes, there's been so much. You have to do the last bit of your ego death. You have to make the time for it. You have to make the time to get together and do your YouTube so it can blossom into bigger and better things. You have to pay attention to the messages that your mother gave you. Every message has so much importance.
Oh, I love this. Okay. Yeah, because we're gonna be listening to this video a whole lot, and we're gonna be acting on it a whole lot. And can you help me with this discerning energies and stuff?
Oh, I think you're getting much better at that.
Okay, I've been practicing on it. I guess I just had to find my base energy to learn others' energies.
Yeah, and I think that you're doing a lot of releasing of your old thought systems and your old conditioning that you were under. I think you've definitely been releasing a lot of your old patterns, and that's good because that's cultivating the ground for new things to grow, new and better things to grow inside of you.
Oh, I'm excited. Good, 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 good. Oh, good. Okay, and um, is there anything you want to tell me about the man from the beach?
No, I think that that's something that you and him together are going to listen. The next time that we do this, if you want to go into like a past life type of situation, then we can call upon any spirits that do not wish you harm and we can see if he's one of them. But I think that if you just have a conversation with him and say, I know you're here. I know you're still lingering. I thank you for not bothering me. But this is the day, this is the time, I'll be available. Just tell me everything you need to tell me. And then just write it all down.
Oh, okay. So I just need to make time for him.
Yes, where you're not distracted.
Okay. So he did want to stay in contact.
Well, I think that he just got excited because you could feel him and see him and sense him. I think he just got excited. He wanted to just tell somebody his story about, his passing and the way his life was before. I don't necessarily think he wants you to get a hold of anybody or relay any messages. I think he just wants somebody to listen to him.
Oh, okay. Okay. So when I get ready, maybe he can just teach me.
He just wants to tell you his story, I think.
Okay. So whenever I just sense him, I can just be like, come back on this day and this time, and I'll have time for you.
Yeah, you can say that anytime. He can always hear you if he's hanging around. And then once you schedule an appointment, then he can relax, and when he relaxes, energy will be much clearer, and then you can also feel like you've cleared out a time where you can pay attention to that. And then also, 9 times out of 10, whenever you do encounter a spirit, they'll either bring other spirits with them, or other spirits from your family or your friends will actually try to come in as well, because they
Okay.
know that you're paying attention.
Okay. And so I'll just know a spirit's around if I just start getting these thoughts and stuff.
Especially if you just start talking to them.
Okay. See, that's the stuff I need to like follow as my instincts and learn, and then it'll get stronger.
It gets easier the more you do it.
Okay. And the more me and Christy talk about it, it's coming.
Yes, and you need to tell her to stop being afraid of it. The
Okay.
channeling or the medium stuff. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Okay. So whenever I'm sitting there and I feel like there's someone around, that's usually when someone is around.
Yes, and then just out loud say, what do you want to say to me? What do you need to get through?
Okay, because I've never really done that before.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to look crazy, and people are going to, your husband's probably going to be like, do you need meds or something? But it doesn't matter. He'll just eventually laugh and understand.
Yeah, I told him I was going to start my channeling journey, so he's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and the list of words that I had on my phone for the signs, I got.
Oh, whenever you combine those words with Christy's words, you'll have a whole story that makes perfect sense.
Oh, I love that. Can you help us find her journal?
Yes, she needs to clean her bedroom.
Oh, okay, good deal. Okay, that's where it's at.
Yes, but the whole lesson there was that she's been avoiding her decluttering, and that's something for her spiritually. That's something she really needs to embrace as part of her healing. Her last bit of healing is the decluttering. And so while we definitely don't want, we're appreciative of the fact that she's understanding the non-judgment nature of it all, but we also do need her to see that there is a huge amount of healing that's going to take place when she does that. And so just for her journal just being accidentally lost at the moment, if she does face herself and does the decluttering in her bedroom, she'll find it.
Okay. So it was good. She was talking about that earlier. I told her I'd help her when she's ready.
Yeah, that's kind of her last little bit of residual trauma right there.
Oh, I love that. Okay, good. How wonderful. Well, Cressida, is there anything else you'd like to bring through for us?
No, but just remember you have access all the time. You can do this anytime you want. Your mom is always with you. Your dad is on a really cool journey right now, being someone's guardian angel. He's learning a lot of lessons that he needs to be able to go to a different realm.
Oh.
And you're on the right path. Just master this ego death so you can get that behind you.
Okay. And thank you. Thank you for guiding us.
Thank you for being open.
Oh. I wouldn't know what else to be, because it's I don't know, it's just been everything I've always been searching for. I just didn't know I was searching for it.
Isn't that cool that you made that agreement before you were born?
Yes, it's like so magical. So that makes sense on all those, where everybody always feels like there's something that they know they should be doing, but they just don't know what it is. And then it's really there.
Yes.
Oh, I feel truly blessed to even be able to do this. Like, that's...
Oh, and you find that necklace when you find the necklace in the flea market that used to belong to your mom or her mom or something like that, it's going to give you a lot of power too.
Oh, it is?
Mm-hmm.
And you can help me discern the energy?
Yeah, you'll know it when you find it, and it's we'll be able to tell you the rest of the story after you find it.
Okay.
Because right now...
I need to go this week and find it.
Right now, it's more important for you to test your instincts and to be able to succeed at following your instincts in order to find the jewelry. That's more important than us telling you the whole story behind the jewelry. So
That's
after
true.
you find it, then we'll give you the whole backstory, and you're just going to love that.
Oh, wonderful. And then that's just going to make me feel more confident in my um, instincts.
Yeah, every time you use it, you get stronger.
Oh, good, good, good. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Well, if that's offered, is that offered today?
I think so.
Okay, okay. And me and Christy will be doing some sessions with some other people here in a few days, I feel.
Oh, you're so good. You're so ready.
Oh, thank you so much. I just love you, Cressida.
Love you too. You are me.
I know, but I just, I don't know, I just love us. Well, okay. And if that's all, I'll just go ahead and close us out.
Okay, bye.
Bye.